Welcome back. Joe Volpe, the publisher of Corriere Canadese, North America's only Italian-language daily newspaper, on behalf of Go Live and Corcan Media Group, welcoming you to the comment of the day. And the comment is, Flim-flam politics, the NAFTA negotiations. Now, Canada's foreign minister cut short her diplomatic trip to Europe so she could rush to Washington to resume NAFTA negotiations. Why? Because the Donald has just announced a take it or leave it deadline for August 31st. That's Friday, 2018. He had also announced, in a version of the English language whose authenticity only he has mastered, that a new U.S.-Mexico trade agreement would replace the trilateral NAFTA. Canada is the real bad guy, he said. Canada would be left out as of September 1st if it didn't sign on. Except that it wouldn't. Not legally. The NAFTA requires a 6-month notification of intent to withdraw. No formal notices have been provided by any of the partners so far. Moreover, the United States Congress will need to ratify the new agreement for it to take effect. That doesn't mean that it won't. The mechanism for that, though, have yet to be triggered. In fact, skeptics in the United States of America have started to question whether the president has been given the authority to negotiate a bilateral agreement in the first place. CNN, a news outlet which does not inhabit the same universe as the Donald's alternative reality, was quick to dismiss the big announcement. Yes, there had been movement, it conceded. For example, Mexico had agreed that it would bring employee salaries in the auto sector more in line with those in Canada and the United States. Good. It also agreed that North American content on autos would have to be 75% for vehicles to qualify for exemption from duties. It's currently around 62.5%. Thirdly, 60% of the steel and aluminum components would have to be sourced from North American suppliers. However, as pointed out by the president of the Automobile Parts Manufacturers Association, the APMA, Flavio Volpe, in an interview with the Corriere Canadese last week, these conditions have been on the table for some time. They had essentially been accepted by all three partners and were awaiting the signature of the newly elected president of Mexico. Protocol issues. Canadian members of the APMA operate 450 manufacturing plants in Mexico. These and the auto assembly plants in Canada directly employ 130,000 Canadians. Raising the salaries of workers in Mexico or requiring a higher percentage of component parts for auto assembly to be sourced from North America will not necessarily impact Canadian producers negatively. Might actually be a really good thing. So why the rush? Well, this U.S. president, a carnival barker, the world revolves around me narcissist, is a master of diversion. He is entering a period of political hot waters. The primaries for the midterm elections to both houses of Congress have just begun. Republicans, his party, risk losing control. They need a perceived victory heading to the polls. The legitimacy of their president's victory 20 months ago is being severely questioned because of the Mueller investigation into Russian electoral interference in the United States of America. His former minions, partners, collaborators are flipping on him, and he has become an unindicted co-conspirator, a euphemism for a criminal waiting to be charged. The untimely, though expected imminently, death of Senator John McCain reinforced the public's perception of the Donald as a graceless social baboon. McCain did not want him at his funeral. The Donald couldn't bring himself to saying a kind word in a moment of mourning. He even refused to lower the flag over the White House as a gesture of respect for a war hero. until he was forced to do so. Some Americans still like this man, the Trump. "He's putting money in my pocket," is the common refrain cited as a reason for his continuing support. Lesson learned? Prime Minister Trudeau, now entering the final year of his own mandate, is well known for separating the possible from the inevitable. In 2016, for example, immediately following the Trump victory, he announced that Canada would be ready to renegotiate the NAFTA before even being asked. Following the Trump announcement on Monday, he hastened to make 3 phone calls immediately. The first to Trump, the second to Chrystia Freeland, and the third to the dairy farmers to remind them that he is as committed as ever to standing up for the precious supply management system they value, even at the risk of collapsing the NAFTA. There are about 12,000 such dairy farmers, half of them in Quebec. Cameras ready? Joe Volpe for Corriere Canadese, inviting you to stay tuned for the comment in Portuguese. Thank you.